Welcome in. This is the New Mexico United Show. Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Deal, and I'm joined by Tyler Ortega and, of course, Chris Hurst. A little bit later, we'll have the man himself, boss man, Peter Trevisani. Guys, before we get into the highlights, another big draw for United. Maybe not the result that you want, but on the road against your rival, didn't play their best, and they quickly got that. What do you think real quick, Chris?
Yeah, I actually think it's a point gained rather than two lost or three lost. Yeah, I definitely think based on the performance, it was probably the most scrappy of the games that we've had so far. So that's definitely a point gain.
Yeah, I think kind of more to what Chris was saying. I think it was a fair result given the match that we saw. You know, United able to kind of equalize late. Yeah, I think it was fair.
And you look at, I mean, just the atmosphere. It's a rivalry. There's been a lot of trash talk. We'll get into some of that in a little bit. But the weather and just everything was really sloppy. Taking the point, staying at the top of the table, that's the point. And so let's get into that. Let's take a look back at what was and the highlights in the matchup here. And guys, I mean, Cody Mizell was huge all game. And it starts right here, doesn't it? As Tyler Resend trying to go near post, Cody says, get that out of here. And then off the rebound, another big save. Yeah,
Cody was a wall for the most part of that night. It easily could have been 4-2 at the 90th minute. But Cody, you know, like you said, he did a really good job. And, you know, I love Sam Hamilton, but Sam, I feel like, made a lot of mistakes that really forced Cody to step up.
Jerome Kiesewetter had the follow-up there, and he ends up having a monster game. But how big was Mizell again? It's just like we say this every week, right?
Yeah, every week he's in the running for the save of the week, right? But the thing I noticed about Locomotive was how most teams that play in New Mexico United drop off and let our two centre-backs have the ball and just play. They really pressed, and that really knocked us out of our rhythm. And that chance that we just saw right there was actually from them pressing higher up the field.
Well, there was a lot of opportunity early for Locomotive, but then the first goal was able to come in the 36th minute, and really it was a mistake in the midfield, and maybe another similar opportunity from earlier with Resend, and this time Kiesewetter, the German, puts it away, and all of a sudden, oh no, it's 1-0, guys.
Keepers are always looked at when they get beaten near post, and you could see why Cody kind of lent a little bit to his left, thinking he was going to go far post, and he just snuck it in there. But again, it's another time that they won the ball in our half. Like, there's not many teams that have done that.
Can't give it away in the midfield like that.
No, and that was really the story of the evening, as we'll see quite a few of these highlights. There was a lot of bad balls played into the midfield there by United, and you know, all credit to the Locomotive. They really capitalized on it.
You saw a little bit of the atmosphere there from the replay. With the curse, and of course a great show, or excuse me, with the eighth notch. And is the eighth notch not notch 8? I don't. Whatever. They're nothing. They're nothing compared to us. It's the curse showed up though too for New Mexico, and they were able to celebrate because things got equal with a gorgeous goal from Sam Hamilton, a late free kick opportunity, which was a good ball in. And look at this, Padilla. This is what he does. Manny Padilla can serve a ball like no other. Curls in, and Hamilton puts it away. We're even, Tyler.
Yeah, and you know, to steal one of Chris's lines, Manny Padilla has a wand of a right foot. We've sat here and said it.
A wand? Like who? How do you even come up?
I don't know. I had to steal that one from Chris. But no, the balls that Manny puts into the box, they're just top notch. And Sam, he stands tall and he gets up and gets good contact.
When you're talking about defending set plays, like as a coach, you always talk about, you know, the first phase is defending the first ball, and you know, Locomotive did a decent job of getting rid of the first ball, but that second phase, Manny Padilla, I haven't. How many assists has he got this year? We talk about him just as much as Cody Mizell right now. He's got a great delivery, and that's perfect ball and great header by Sam Hamilton back where it came from, so the keeper can't shift his weight quick enough.
Halftime, you know, you're thinking, okay, United maybe got outplayed. A lot of opportunities for Locomotive. And, you know, Troy Lesesne probably had some words to get his guys going, but still the bulk of the opportunity stayed with Locomotive, and it was in the 65th minute where Kiesewetter's second goal came in, and what a ball from Contreras, and that's a good finish. Back post.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's good. I think they'll be disappointed. It seemed like they were a little outnumbered at the back post there. They got drawn to the ball. Everyone kind of got drawn to that side of the field. Does well to turn his man here. Great ball in, to be fair to the guy, and I mean, a fairly simple header at the back post.
You know, and there it was Sam that was supposed to be marking him there, and you know, to be fair, he was a little bit out of position, but I think this just speaks more to the effect of you know, the presence that Justin Schmidt has in that back line for New Mexico United.
All right, well, big finish there, and so it's 2-1, and you're thinking, well, I mean, is this going to get away from United? And then things got a little bit chippy, things got a little ugly, and then here was some double red, Santi Muar and Yuma from El Paso. getting into it. Everybody's getting into it. Josh Suggs comes in. The captain says, get out of my way, get out of my guy's way. But what do you guys think?
I don't know if we want to know exactly what I think. We'll do the PG-13 version, I guess, and go for... If you get thrown down on the ground,
I want to know exactly what Chris Hurst thinks, actually.
Right. Sandy Moore has every right to stand up and defend himself, but I really think he was just standing his ground. Uma was the guy who was the aggressor in that, and I know watching the game, the announcers seemed to think that it was all New Mexico United that was getting sent off.
Biased announcers. Biased announcers, by the way.
Yeah, very biased. No way ever is that a red for Santi. I mean, like Chris really said it. If you get thrown down and the guy stands over you with some words, of course you're going to stand up. But I love to see the reaction from Josh Suggs.
Skipper,
that's what
captain,
you need from your captain.
Get into him, yeah.
That's my captain.
And you know what? And Suggs comes up big in a part of the equalizer. And so here it was. And after a dispossession and a nice couple of dishes, Suggs going to find Williams. Look at this ball, and he is kept on sides, by the way, Ryan Williams, by the last defender. It looks like maybe he was off sides, but you slow it down. Last defender was getting up late, and so Ryan Williams gets another goal, and that's a big equalizer, wasn't it, guys?
You can tell it's offside because if you look at the reaction of the defender who knows he's kept him onside, desperately puts his hand up,
you
like,
see it's
please,
the left
he's
back.
begging, right. Please put your flag up to the R. And yeah, he was miles onside.
And so
Great.
Suggsy comes up huge, doesn't he, Tyler?
Suggs came up really huge, and one thing that I saw a lot in that second half was Suggs really pushing forward. I know United has seen a lot of success with Suggs getting forward in previous matches. I really felt like that was one of the big adjustments that Troy made at halftime. And also, big shout out to Ryan Williams. He actually got married, I think, last week. So there's a nice little wedding gift for him, scoring a goal against El Paso.
And you'll take the draw at this point, won't you, Chris?
Being down 2-1 late into the game, and obviously with all the extracurriculars, I guess let's call it, like to get away with a point, you can't really complain.
And as Tyler said, Suggs coming up big. He's defending his guy. You saw the shove, and then he comes up big with that gorgeous assist. I mean, threading that ball to Ryan Williams, so difficult.
Like you say, like threading that ball, like a lot of people would have just slung the ball into the box, a little desperate, but he spotted the gap and was able to play it straight into his path. Great turn by Williams as well. And like he had a cool head to just slot it in the bottom corner.
So the point, it keeps United on top of the table for now, and that's good to see. And of course, moving forward now, the matchup against the Switchbacks. Guys, they're 17th on the 18-team table right now in the Western Conference, and so really important, I think, for United in this big road trip to keep momentum. I'll start with you, Tyler.
So one guy we're going to look out for here against the Switchbacks is a defender. His name is Jordan Burt. He's number 44 now. Why are we highlighting a defender? Well, he's actually tied for their team lead in goals with 3. He's very, very dangerous inside the 18-yard box. There you see one of his 3 goals on the season. So just keep an eye on him. He started all 10 games so far this season. He has not been subbed out, hasn't missed a minute. This guy is a rock. And, for being a defender, he has 0 cards through his first 10 games, so he's very disciplined. There you can see kind of getting in and finding the ball in dangerous areas. So that's one guy that New Mexico United really has to keep an eye out for, number 44, Jordan Burt.
And by the way, our skipper, Josh Suggs, comes from the Switchbacks, and what a get, obviously, for the United. And then, Chris, there's some youngin behind the goal for the Switchbacks, is there?
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. It's a 16-year-old goalkeeper. And, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know when I was 16, I wasn't playing professional soccer. I know when you finally turn 16, Tyler, maybe you'll be able to tell us what it's like. But he should be right now. He should be playing in the U17 Development Academy. He really should. So, like, to be playing first team, and I don't know if you guys remember, his debut was against Phoenix Rising, and the whole league was talking about him. He came up with big PK save, and some. I think the term that you guys use is he stood on his head. He was unbelievable in that. And talking to the guys up in Colorado, they've got big things planned for this guy. Like I say, 16-year-old, and he's not afraid to boss around grown men right in front of him. He's got great feet, unbelievable shot stopping. And everyone knows Tim Howard's retiring at the end of this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's moved up to the Colorado Rapids next year.
What a shot he just took. I mean, that was rough. I mean,
that was rough. I was trying to look at him, but these stage lights hitting off that head, it's a little tough to see him even this close.
Man, this is good. I like this. All right. Okay, so quickly, United's going to be big. Step forward. A lot of road matches right now, guys. So maybe some fatigue going to set in. It's going to be very important to stay poised. But Troy Lesten's going to have his guys ready. 3 points on the road here will go a long, long way, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's a team to get it from, this is the team. As you said, they're -8 in goal differential. They've won twice. They've lost 6. So this is really the one that you got to take.
Boss man, he's up next. We've got a great interview coming up with Peter Trevisani. Keep it right here.
Hey, where's Roush and Justin?
I don't know, bro.
Yo, this is crazy. Y'all gotta come check this out. Come on, come on.
Hey, back to action. Owner and club president now joining us, Peter Trevisani. What's going on?
How you doing, Adam?
Hey, we got some good questions here we're going to kind of go on. But first off, you were just in El Paso, and you were amongst the great fans in the Curse and the little section that we had up there. You could hear on the broadcast how loud it was. Tell us how fun that was.
Oh, it was amazing. Just to be in that environment, to feel like in our section that we had a home game. We had that whole upper deck rocking, maybe 200 to 300 people there, all waving the flag, supporting the team. And so, you know, in our section, it felt like a home game. And I know the players appreciated it, and they saw us and recognized us as they scored goals.
Like, I look at this is a new beginning to this beautiful rivalry, right? And the red cards and everything that added to it. And even when we watched at halftime, they had the 8th notch, their cheering section in El Paso kind of had a breaking the curse with the Breaking Bad symbol. Like, it was a lot of fun just to see that.
Yeah, man, I love the respect. You know, the Curse has obviously gotten their attention. You know, they felt they had to put all that work into sort of recognizing the Curse. So I think we're certainly doing something right. I think there are, you know, El Paso's really watching what we're doing up here and trying to, you know, replicate some of the intensity and energy. And, you know, they got a little ways to go because they're El Paso, but you know, they can get there. And but, you know, more seriously, I'm just glad that they're, you know, getting good traction with that team. El Paso's done a great job this year with their fan base, and their team's performing well in the field too.
And even before the game, guys, like, you got in on this too, and I got in a little bit. There was like a Twitter war going back and forth and memes and all kinds of stuff. It was a ton of fun, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's no love lost now, right? Like, I
right.
think, and one of my favorite parts, and this is my favorite part. This is not New Mexico United's favorite part. I'll stress that now. But Josh Suggs, when that argy-bargy started, and he came steaming in and absolutely put an end to it pretty quick. He's from Las Cruces. Do you think he likes El Paso?
I mean, no, I mean, it's obvious. And Las Cruces and El Paso already, like, clash, right? And so, Suggs, you like to see your captain go in. I mean, are you rooting for that? A little,
I mean,
I think
on
battle?
TV, I think on TV it looked like he just came a few steps. I mean, Suggs got a running start. I think he started in New Mexico and then came into that play. He was running from the time Santi got thrown down on the field, and then after he got headbutted, then he came in and never broke stride. And absolutely, you know, that's what you're looking for in your captain, is to stick up for your players. But I'll tell you what, every one of those guys, if Suggs hadn't done it, they would have done it. So there's the sense of passion and commitment that these players have for each other. It's really amazing, and it shows up on the field and definitely off the field too.
Yeah, and speaking of that altercation, you mentioned the double red cards for Santi and Yuma from El Paso. What are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, that's it depends how much I want to get fined in terms of the level of honesty I'll be here.
A lot.
I think it was rough. Certainly it felt that they just wanted to kind of equal things out. I didn't really see any behavior on our side that warranted a red card. I didn't see anything on film that warranted a red card. But sometimes that happens, and what you got to do is you got to pick the pieces up. And what did we do? We responded exactly how you're supposed to respond. We went out there, scored a goal, shut them down in the stands, and shut them down the field, and we're able to go, get away with the point.
Well, let's move forward. That is the point. It's a sloppy point, but you can take the point. And now the Switchbacks are up next, Colorado. And it's obviously a big week with how many matches United have in a row, but a real chance to make some separation at the top of the table, huh?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're off to a great start. It's super early in the season, but we're producing on the field. Obviously, we're getting a lot of support off the field. And, we go up into Colorado, we get those 3 points, and, we're going to stay at the top of the table. And that's where we want to be. We're there now. We just want to stay there. And the only way to do that is to get some wins. And, in a game like last week, I think you'd like to come away with 3 points. You feel like, you could have done that. At the same time, give El Paso credit. I felt like they could have come away with 3 points as well. So we'll take what we can get.
Building on that, obviously you said like the team's doing maybe better than expected, but doing really well, and there's some real momentum, and there's a lot of rumors flying around about stuff that might be coming down the pipeline. There's rumors about stadiums and all kinds of things. What's the next big thing for New Mexico United?
Put him on the spot. Let's go.
Look, I love that we're having stadium conversations. I love that we're talking about the next big thing. What can we do to make this bigger, and how do we compete on a global basis? Like, that's exactly the situation we wanted to be in here. And what we've done is, it's the opposite of if you build it, they will come. And if they come, we will build it. And I know and feel New Mexico has shown up in the biggest way possible. And now it's our job to get a stadium so that we can push forward and have a place that is our own. And that's going to be a multi-year process to get the kind of stadium we want. But we've begun working on it. We got a long way to go. But I'm looking forward to the day we kick a ball from our own place.
That's awesome.
Next week, by the way, we will have an adjustable chair for Tyler Ortega, so he can get up just a couple notches.
Well, I could duck if you want to punch him.
We're going to get another couple of weeks out
Tyler's
of this job as well, right?
Can we go to break so we can take care?
Let's look forward to next home game, right? So we've got you've built this nice team, and they've marketed nicely, and Pride has come in, and
Yep.
I mean, the monster crowds are just growing, and so you're expecting another big one on the 5th, and it's going to be against Oklahoma City, which is the energy is up there on the table as well.
Yep.
So a monster atmosphere matchup. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Pride in the pitch. I think what a great message. We've talked about from day one about bringing our community together, bringing people together in a way they haven't come together before. And Pride in the pitch is a great example where we get to celebrate the diversity of our great state. And I think on the field it's going to be an amazing match. We've set a goal as a club to be undefeated at home. And we're sticking true to that so far. We've got a long way to go, and we want to keep that streak going against Oklahoma.
And then there's other stuff coming. Tyler, you want to talk about that as well?
So I know we've got a Meow Wolf night, it looks like, in the cards coming up in August. What is that going to entail? Because, when you think of Meow Wolf, you think of all these, kind of weird experiences. Trippy, I guess, would be the best word to describe it. So what can, I guess, the fans be somewhat expecting for that?
I don't know. Have you seen Chris Hurst in a Freddy Krueger mask? That is definitely kind of trippy. I think, that's going to be
a mask.
Yeah, no.
That's it. I'm glad we're at the end of this. So I would just say what you should expect. It's really a celebration of creativity. And we're going to have artists of all types coming out and showing their craft and interacting with the game. So it's not just going to be Meow Wolf, but it will be, all things artistic, from traditional art to music to acrobatics. And we're going to just put together something that's really authentic to New Mexico and something special that's never been done in any stadium anywhere before.
Speaking of stadiums, here's an idea I had. Meow Wolf Stadium. What would that look like? I'm sure that's crossed your mind.
Yeah, where you zip line into your seats, and or like you gotta you know, you can lift your seat up and duck down, and maybe your concessions are right underneath. You know, I think we have to think like that. If all we're going to do is try to follow somebody else, then how can we be a better version of ourselves? So what we need to do is just keep pushing forward as a state in a way that's authentic, in a way that feels right for us. Not be afraid of taking risk, not be afraid of imagining more than you might think is imaginable. And if we keep that attitude and that perspective, so many amazing things are going to come.
And then, lastly, I'll end on this, is the apparel, by the way. I mean, and how great everybody wants it. It's sickening how much my wife wants all the apparel, like my kids. Like, you're just taking my money every day. I want you to know that. Like, I'm just handing over my money to you. It's been crazy, though, when you see the reaction just around the entire city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico, how much apparel there actually is out there already.
Yeah, and I think that just shows the spirit. You know, we talk about the quantity, the amount of people that show up, and it's great. But what I focus on more is like the quality and, you know, and the emotional connection people are having at the game. And what I see when people are wearing the apparel, they don't want to come to a game without having, you know, without having black and yellow on their body. It just shows that this means more than just soccer to them. You know, that all we've done is we've really brushed off the dust of people that want to be heard and seen and felt, and they can come to these games and they can be seen. New Mexico is being seen not just by ourselves, but by the entire soccer community around the globe, and everyone's taking notice and is really impressed with what's going on here.
We appreciate it. It's the boss man himself, Peter Trevisani, joining us here. When we return, we're going to go over some of the rest of the league, some standings for you, and it's coming up next right here. Back to action, and now we're going to take a look around the league, and United trying to stay amongst the top of the table right now, guys, tied with 18 points. And when it comes down to it, the tiebreaker actually goes to altogether wins, and so right now that's why Portland Timbers, who we do have a draw against, is on top right now. Yeah,
I mean, realistically, we've probably let a couple of these couple of points slide in the first part of the season here, but 18 points. I think if you would have said that this was going to be where we were at this point in this season, I'm sure coach would have snapped your hand off and said, "Yeah, I'll take that, no problems whatsoever."
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at this, I might be wrong here, but I do not see any other expansion sides in the top half of the table. So that in and of itself for New Mexico United, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment so far.
And not only that, for the top 5 teams United have already faced that's on top of that table right now, and so a schedule that has been bottom loaded so far indeed. And so keeping that pace, obviously Switchbacks at the bottom of the table, you see a big opportunity to get 3 points there. We'll see.
Yeah, it feels like every week we've been talking about a game coming up against one of the teams that we're fighting to stay ahead of, and that's not we're not taking anything lightly by any stretch of the imagination. Like, every team is going to be dangerous and has its own things to deal with, but to play a team that is maybe struggling a little more might, especially with the run that we're on right now with away games, it might be a little relief for coach.
Well, and 3 big rivalry games all in the span of the week for New Mexico United. You know, it's going to be interesting to see where the guys' heads are when they get to Colorado Springs. You know, obviously having played Phoenix and El Paso all within the last 6 days. Will that be sort of the let-off game? How are their emotions going to be? How's the energy levels going to be?
Take a quick look at the schedule to come, and you see the Switchbacks as we have presented a little bit earlier, and then we talked a little bit earlier about those 2 big home matchups. That'll be against OKC Energy, and then the one that's actually at Austin to finish 4 games in a row on the road. And so coming up, a lot of opportunity here for some points. Real quick, your final thought.
Yeah, I mean, get through these last couple of away games, including the Open Cup game as well. You know, get back home in front of the home fans and keep making the Lab a fortress that it's become so far this season.
Final thought, you got to get 3 points on Saturday at Colorado Springs. You absolutely have to. It's going to be crucial going down the stretch.
To close the show, we're going to throw it back over to Tyler Ortegas. He'll have a recap of the big Open Cup matchup against Phoenix Rising FC.
Thanks, Adam. I'm coming to you guys here from Star Brothers Brewing, where there was a massive watch party on Wednesday night for the U.S. Open Cup match against Phoenix Rising. Now, quick little bit of information. If you don't know what the U.S. Open Cup is, it's open to all levels of American soccer. It starts off kind of with some lower-tiered professional teams as well as some amateur teams. As the rounds progress, then you start seeing some of the big boys coming in. So in round 2 is when the USL comes in, and should the teams keep advancing up to round 4, that's when the MLS teams come in. Now, it's not uncommon for lower-level sides to beat MLS teams. We've seen it in the past. I'm sure we'll probably see it again this season. So if you didn't catch the match against Phoenix Rising, let's have a look at these highlights. We'll start here in the 63rd minute. Amadou Dia, he gets by Ethan Sampson, and Ethan is judged to have pulled him down. It's a penalty kick for the hosts. Stepping up to take this one, Junior Fleming, and he knows what to do with it. In his run-up, he hesitates just a little bit, and he gets Cody Mizell to bite just a little bit, and he finds the back of the net. That puts Phoenix Rising up 1-0 here in this one. Moving on into the 79th minute, we had 2 subs come in the game. It was Josh Suggs from Las Cruces, Devin Sandoval, the hometown hero here from Albuquerque. And this is what I saw called on Twitter. They called it the cross of I-25. In the 95th minute, it's Santi Moar on the left side. He lets one go with his right foot. Devin Sandoval inside the box gets a touch and finds the back of the net. That puts the visitors up 2-1 here. Now, fast forward 5 more minutes. 101st minute, Adam John with an absolute stinger beats Cody Mizell, and it's 2-2. So as we fast forward again, 123rd minute, United kind of threatening at the end. They're able to see it out, maybe for a corner. The ref doesn't give it, so we go to penalty kicks. In penalty kicks, we get to the 5th and final kick for New Mexico United, and it's Justin Schmidt. He steps up, buries it, upper 90. So that sets the stage. Cody Mizell has to make a save here on the final penalty kick for New Mexico United to move on. And what does Cody do? He gets his left, he gets it right, he stops the shot. New Mexico United move on. So with that victory, New Mexico United moving on to the 3rd round of the U.S. Open Cup, where they're actually going to be taking on the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. That's going to put 2 back-to-back trips to Colorado for New Mexico United. You know, they have to love their chances going into these ones. And if they're able to progress past Colorado Springs, then that's when there's a chance, as I said, that they might face an MLS side in opposition. That's going to do it for us here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the New Mexico United Show. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.